There isn't much that gives you the same feeling as when something just randomly clicks inside of your head. But that's exactly what happened when I was just sitting at my desk one night editing away. So cutting to the chase, I find that a lot of people, including myself, have or have had a huge issue with over-editing their photos. And no, I don't necessarily mean overdoing something like clarity or saturation or something along the lines of that. More so, I find that it comes down to trying to reshape an image into something completely new and different, something that it really isn't. Personally, I had a really bad habit of trying to make an image that was either cold or warm look like its complete counterpart. So, you know, transforming a cold photo into a warm one or vice versa. And then, of course, thanks to this, my photos ended up looking, well, out of place, to say the least. I'd say the first change that was also the biggest improvement in my editing style was working on my consistency and trying to edit along with the image rather than against it. So I tried my best to stay with the temperature and with the feel of the original scene. So obviously if you had a nighttime picture of a snow-covered cityscape and tried to push it towards warmth and golden hour rays of light, well, it just doesn't go really well. If you don't believe me, go try it yourself. So the key idea here is less is more, but not in that like complete cliche sense. However, more in a way that you should do your post-processing in a way that is more parallel to your image, rather than, as I said before, against it. So if the light is coming from the left, don't try to force it to come from the right. If the image is from the middle of winter, don't try to force it like it's in the middle of spring or summer. Now, of course, I know a lot of you will probably be against what I'm saying, so there are a lot of exceptions to this. For example, often in landscape photography, you'll see photographers trying to reshape the light to be more flattering on the mountains or whatever the subject is. But the key difference there is that it's a subtle and stylistic choice. It doesn't necessarily overhaul the entire image, but more so it emphasizes what's already there and makes it look even better and more grand. So by playing around with the elements that your image already includes, you can achieve the best harmony possible within your image. And this will actually help you gain a much better understanding of what to look out for when you're outside shooting. Now, funnily enough, this actually ties into my last video where I talked about how to find your photography style. So like I mentioned before, implementing this kind of ideology into your photography or video editing workflow will most likely help you make more conscious decisions while out shooting. For example, paying more attention to light, composition, and other storytelling aspects of your image. Because at that point, in your head, the finished result is already there. Oh, and by the way, for those of you who care about this kind of stuff, your Instagram profile will actually look a lot cleaner if you implement this kind of thing. But don't use mine as an example. Now, continuing along with this whole idea of harmony, another amazing editing trick that most people, including myself, neglected is actually in the HSL tab. Now, if you're not too familiar with Lightroom, it probably looks a little bit daunting to you, so if you'd like a full video on how to maximize it, then let me know. Anyhow, I find that pushing a lot of my colors and my personal images closer together to where they're quite similar to each other. For example, pushing my teals towards blue helps the image look a lot more clean and consistent. Now, that was just a small example, there's a lot more that goes into it, but you get the point. Similarly, I like pushing my reds towards orange, my oranges towards red, my greens towards yellow, etc, etc. You get it. So as you can see, these small changes can actually really level up your image in the sense of how colors play with each other. And it can actually further help guide your viewer's eyes towards the main subject of your image. How many times am I gonna say image, man? To your photo. In your photo, not image. Well, no, still image, but alright. If you'd like a video covering how to make the most of this amazing tab, then just let me know in the comments and I'll get straight to it. Anyway, of course, editing is very stylistic and completely down to preference. Actually, I'm sure many people would probably disagree with most of the things I've said in this video. However, these are the things that I found helped me the most in leveling up my photography. So take it with a grain of salt. At the end of the day, the only thing that is truly guaranteed to make you better at what you're doing is, well, doing it over and over again. Get the reps in and you're guaranteed to get better, hopefully. Alright, so on that note, go grab your camera and get shooting.